Hey guys, this video is over the history of space travel and the different things that we've done throughout history. Make sure you take your notes. You'll be able to use them on their quiz. There are no quiz questions at the end of this one, but you will still be having a quiz sometime this week, and your notes will definitely be able to help you. So let's get started. So the history of space travel and what we called the space race started with the launch of Sputnik. On October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union sent into orbit Sputnik 1, which was the first artificial satellite in history. Then, a month later, an even larger and heavier satellite, Sputnik 2, carried the dog Laika into orbit. Sputnik's launch came as an unnerving surprise to the United States. The space age had dawned, and America's Cold War rival, which was Russia, the Soviet Union, suddenly appeared technologically superior. This worried a lot of people in the United States because they were not sure what they would use that satellite for. And we also saw ourselves as the greatest nation in the world, and another nation did something before we did. So, in response, we launched Voyager 1, was a space probe launched by NASA on September 5th, 1977, to study the outer part of the solar system. Operating for 35 years, 3 months, and 13 days as of December 18, 2012, the spacecraft receives routine commands and transmit data into the Deep Space Network. It is the farthest man-made object from Earth. On June 15th, 2012, NASA scientists reported that Voyager 1 may be very close to becoming the first man-made object to leave the solar system. So it's been in operation for quite some time now. At this point, about 35 years and 4 months. And it has yet to leave our solar system. So we're really excited that it will get there soon. Next was what we called Project Mercury. The goals for Project Mercury were to place a manned spacecraft into orbit around the Earth. They wanted to observe human performance abilities in space and bring the man and the craft home safely. So Project Mercury was our first attempt to get a man into outer space and bring him home. The spacecraft was very, very small. Astronauts could not even fully reach out, arm span fingertip to fingertip. There was only room for one astronaut. The Mercury spacecraft, which astronaut John H. Glenn Jr. became the first American to orbit the Earth. On February 20th, 1962, Glenn circled the Earth 3 times. The space flight lasted 4 hours and 55 minutes. Friendship 7 landed in the Atlantic Ocean. Each astronaut had a different mission name. John Glenn's was Friendship, but all of them ended in the number 7. And that was because there were 7 astronauts chosen for Project Mercury. This proved to be a very successful project for the United States. Our next project was Project Gemini. Its goals were to place man and the spacecraft into space for 2 weeks. We wanted to meet and dock with another orbiting vehicle and to move the 2 spaceships as one, and also to perfect the methods of entering the atmosphere and landing in a pre-selected point on land. So this spacecraft could fit 2 people. All the goals were met, and on June 3rd, 1965, astronaut Edward H. White II became the first astronaut to perform an EVA, or an extravehicular activity, or a spacewalk. So this was a very important project in getting us ready to land on the moon, which was where we were headed. That was our goal. And Project Gemini allowed us to do everything. We stayed up there long enough. We were able to dock with another spacecraft, which was going to be important because we were sending 2 crafts up when we went to the moon. And then we definitely wanted to know exactly where they were going to land when they came back. So that leads us to Project Apollo. The goals of Project Apollo were simple. We wanted to land on the moon, and we wanted to work in space. So the Apollo 11 command module, Columbia, carried astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins on their historic voyage to the moon and back on July 16th through the 24th in 1969. This mission ended in the first human steps on another world. The Apollo 11 spacecraft had 3 parts to it. It had the command module, the service module, and the lunar module, the Eagle. The lunar module went down to the moon, and only the command module returned to Earth. So they left the lunar module orbiting in space. That's the end of this video. That's pretty much the history. What comes next is the shuttle and the International Space Station, which we will talk about as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to see me in class, and I will see you guys then. Have a great evening.